Hello stampers! I've got a tropical card for you today using the Paradise Palm stamp set from Stampin' Up. Now I've used a couple different techniques in this card scene, and I'm just so excited to get to show it to you today. This card is a large card. It is 3.5 by 8.5, and it fits perfectly in the slimline envelopes from Stampin' Up. These are beautiful envelopes. They got nice scalloped edges, and they come in a pack with 3 different colors. So I'm using the white one today for this project. And here is the Paradise Palm stamp set. I've used this quite a bit. It's so fun to use. There's so many different images. I'm going to be using these trees right here today and the sun and all the sentiments. You could use any of these sentiments in today's project. So let's get going on this. So all the dimensions for this card are down below this video as normal, and you can find them down below the video. Just click show more under the description and you'll see them there, along with all the links to the products that'll take you directly to my online store. I have a basic white panel. This is our main panel, and it is 3 by 7. And we're going to start with our one of the new in colors, Parakeet Party, and a blending brush. I'm going to start blending like in the middle of this card, and we're going to go blend upwards. And then we'll blend downwards. When you blend down, we're going to go almost to the bottom. Well, actually, let's go to the bottom, just on the right side here. I love this color. It's just so bright. So that was Parakeet Party. Next, we're going to use a blending brush in Balmy Blue. And we're going to blend Balmy Blue in all the white area now, and then into the Parakeet Party some as we go around it. I'm going to make sure there's no gaps in between these two colors. It's nice to blend them some together at the edges. Okay. So that was Balmy Blue. Now let's go ahead and stamp our trees. This stamp has 3 trees on it. I'm going to use Garden Green to stamp these. I think this is a great green to go with that Parakeet Party. And so I'm going to stamp these trees. I want the base of them about in the middle of the card. So there's one. Then we'll stamp it again, and we're going to overlap just a little. Here we go. Now we're going to stamp our trees upside down. So I have the image upside down. Same color, only I'm going to stamp off once and then stamp on. And I want just a little bit of room in between these two, in between the images. And you kind of line the tree trunks up too, and leaving that gap. So load up, stamp off once, and then stamp on. And that kind of gives you a bit of a reflection there. Okay, so that was Garden Green. And I want a little background color here. I'm going to take an old olive ink pad and I'm going to do direct paper. I'm going to use this short end here. And I'm going to do this very lightly to where I'm starting in the center of these trees, and I'm going to have my ink pad at a tilt here. I don't want to lay it flat. And I want it tilted, and I'm going to start that edge right in between and kind of pull down. And this is going to leave like a streaked part in there. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to go to the opposite direction, starting in that center, and I'm pulling upwards. And I just want some streaks in the background there. That's fun, right? Okay, and that was old olive that I did that with. Now I'm going to bring in some soft suede, and I'm going to do that same direct to paper using that short end again. And this is to put our little ground in. So I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to pull downwards. And now this is a little short stroke. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to pull it upwards. So there is our ground in. That's fun. Not hard. Okay, so we need our sun in there. And so I'm going to bring in some Mango Melody. And I'm going to do second generation on the sun for the top. So I'm going to load it with Mango Melody, stamp off once, and then stamp on there. And if you think that's too light, you can do it again. Stamp off, line it up, stamp on. Now for the bottom, your bottom you always want very light because this is your reflective side. So it's not going to be as dark as your trees up here or your sun. So I'm going to stamp off twice and then stamp on. And if you want it just a bit darker, stamp off twice, stamp on one. So there is our scene. I think I'm going to do it one more time at the top. I'm going to stamp off once, stamp on. Because you always want this to be darker than this. So if they're close in tone, add some more to the top one. Alrighty. So moving right along here, we're going to get a white gel pen out for some highlights. And for our highlights up here at the top, we're going to add some like dots in the tops of our trees here. And I think I'll do these two on the left because they're closest to the sun there. And maybe just a bit down here at the bottom of this one. Then I'm going to add some down here at the bottom. I'm going to put it like in the same spots. Okay, so you'll do one top of a tree and then take your finger and pull it down. And you can do this a few times because you want to get a streak going. Because this is your reflective side. It should be kind of streaked, not exact. Okay. It's kind of fun to do this. You can add quite a bit down here and then streak it. So there is that. And before I go further, I'm going to take a soft suede. This is the dark soft suede marker, and I'm going to use the brush end, and I'm going to color over these tree trunks on the top. Just on the top, not on the bottom reflection side. We're leaving those green. We just want these top ones to be darker. So here's our tree trunks. There we go. And see how that makes them much darker than these ones over here on our reflective side. All right, so let's add, I think I want some more streaks here. There we go. You can certainly keep adding white until you get the streak that you like. going here with this white. All right, and so now I'm going to add some highlights down the tree trunks. Now you can do this very lightly. And we're only doing this on the top ones. And you can kind of, as you're doing this very lightly, you'll see that it kind of skips, and that's what you want. You want it to look kind of skipped. You don't want like a solid line down the sides of them. Okay, and then for our water, we're going to add some lines in here. And I'm barely touching the paper, and I'm going to go back and forth here a bit. Just barely touch that paper, and you can do this all the way down. Just add in some sparkle to your water. And you can come out here in the blue some. There we go. So there is our water lines. That's some nice sparkle there. Okay, so there is our scene. Now, I have this glitter tape here. This is brand new from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use this. It looks to me like parakeet. Goes perfectly with that color on the scene. So I'm going to add some here to the bottom. Just a strip of it. Cut it off on the right side and just fold it under. I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Try to get that straight there. I just love that. So quick, and it just gives you that great glitter look. Okay, so there is our scene. All complete. How fun is that? And you used a couple techniques. Now this glitter tape, by the way, comes in 4 colors. Look at that in the rolls. So be sure to pick that up. It's going to be super handy, especially this black glitter tape. I can just see that all over our Halloween cards. Okay, now we're going to start putting this together. I just want to flip my paper over so I have a nice clean work surface. I have a soft suede card base here that is 7 by 8.5. And when you fold it in half, you want it to be 3.5 by 8.5. And then then we'll have a Parakeet Party panel that's 3 3/8 by 8.25. Then a soft suede panel that's 3 1/8 by 7 3/4. And then we'll put our main image panel on here. And I have these panels, they're shoved over to the left side, and they're flush with the card base on the left side, so they're not centered. And we're going to do that same thing with our main panel here. I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue here. Add some love inside there. And we're going to do that same thing. We're going to center it up and down, but we're going to push it over to the left side. There we go. And there is our card front. And there's plenty of room if you want to add a sentiment to the front of the card. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, so I'm leaving mine blank. Inside, I just added a Parakeet Party panel that's 3 3/8 by 8.25. So there is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that it inspires you to get those inks out and just get creative. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.